The world recognized Lucille Ball as the iconic redhead who founded Desilu Studios and revolutionized TV with I Love Lucy. But fame offered her another perspective, an insider's view of conduct hidden from the audience. Before passing away, she disclosed 7 actresses she deemed genuinely malicious, not on screen, but in everyday life. Some were her colleagues, some were global cinema idols adored everywhere, and each left Lucy with a tale more sinister than the previous one. Number 1. Joan Crawford, the frosty monarch who intimidated Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball encountered numerous challenging performers during her career, but none unnerved her like Joan Crawford. The public viewed Crawford as a dazzling icon, the epitome of vintage Hollywood sophistication. But Lucille perceived something entirely opposite. A lady who concealed viciousness beneath jewels and impeccable stance. Crawford was the one who prompted Lucille to murmur to a companion, "All she possesses is allure. Beneath it lies only frost." The pivotal incident occurred in 1971 amid Crawford's cameo on Here's Lucy. From her entrance, Lucille sensed the ambiance alter, both physically and sentimentally. Crawford insisted the set remain precisely at 68 degrees, her seat positioned at an exact angle, and illumination tailored to her facial contours. Lucille raised no protest. What truly disturbed her followed. A youthful costume helper, just 22, delivered Crawford a gown with a faintly evident crease. Crawford didn't merely point out the error. She demolished the young woman. Onlookers overheard her sneer, "You're a worthless little nobody. Restrooms would be fortunate to employ you." The girl escaped sobbing. Crawford ordered her dismissal immediately. Lucille declined, and that denial ignited her personal animosity. Filming commenced and Crawford shifted seamlessly, enchanting, polite, radiant. Once the recording light dimmed, she solidified again like a doll toggling settings. Lucille confided afterward, "I've collaborated with retail dummies that seemed more alive." For her, that was an assessment. Crawford wasn't simply aloof. She was enacting compassion, not embodying it. Lucille thought mistreatment of vulnerable individuals exposed someone's authentic nature. And in her view, Crawford utterly flunked that evaluation. Joan Crawford lingered in Lucille's mind until her last moments, the female she regarded as profoundly, undeniably wicked. Number 2. Judy Garland, the exquisite turmoil Lucille Ball couldn't pardon. Lucille Ball never softened her opinions on Judy Garland. Whenever Garland's name arose, Lucille's face transformed, not with rage, but with a stern, weary disillusionment. Her shadow stemmed from a gentler place, yet much more ruinous, disorder that engulfed all in proximity. Lucille had been acquainted with Judy from their MGM era. She respected her vocals, her essence, her sorrowful genius, but she also observed what admirers missed: the devastation Garland inflicted each time she arrived tardy, unstable, or absent from a production. Lucille once shared with a pal, "Judy was enchantment, but enchantment that scorched the platform." One recollection haunted her eternally. A television producer in the 1970s recounted to Lucille a filming where Garland was due at 5 a.m. The complete team, technicians, illumination, videography, cosmetics, lingered endlessly. Garland showed up at 2 p.m., glowing and regretful. She then provided 30 flawless minutes that reaffirmed her stardom to all. Afterward, she announced exhaustion and departed. The following day, 3 staffers lost their jobs due to the now exceeded finances. Lucille's fury wasn't rooted in envy or ethical critique. It arose from professional wounds. She had endured Hollywood by proving dependable in a framework designed to discard females. Seeing Garland squander her talent while blameless folks bore the consequences seemed inexcusable. She stated it directly at a secluded supper. Ability doesn't justify ruin, and with Judy, somebody invariably suffered ruin. Lucille never publicly challenged Garland, but she silently steered clear of collaborating with her thereafter. When Garland passed in 1969, Lucille grieved the skill, but not the upheaval. To her, Judy wasn't malevolent by design, but the harm she inflicted was tangible, profound, and unavoidable. Number 3. Ava Gardner. The allure Lucille Ball claimed was brutal beneath the surface. What sort of lady could prompt Lucille Ball to admit she relished the pain she inflicted? That lady was Ava Gardner. Ava possessed something keener, something Lucille viewed as much riskier, attractiveness with a penchant for savagery. Their conflict didn't stem from a miscommunication. It originated from Ava, preying on those she deemed inferior. Lucille observed it firsthand one day in the mid-1960s during an MGM costume session. A novice aide anxiously offered Ava a newly pressed outfit. A minor mark from excessive pressing had relaxed a stitch. It was hardly visible, but Ava's outburst was explosive. Ava glared at the girl, then uttered deliberately, "No need to repair it. You can't mend ineptitude with further ineptitude." The girl stiffened, mortified. Lucille, positioned close by, sensed her heart constrict. This wasn't prima donna conduct. This was delight in supremacy. Subsequently, she confided in a trusted associate, Ava didn't commit errors. She created casualties. The friction intensified at a sector gathering. Someone referenced Lucille's name casually. Ava grinned and declared audibly, "Oh, the outdated jester. She's still employed." Attendees inhaled sharply. Ava remained indifferent. The malice was honed like a knife. Lucille felt those traits obscured the decay below. She informed a companion, "Without her looks, nobody would have endured her true self." They never mended ties. Ava's attractiveness matured into myth. Lucille's recollections of her matured into revulsion. And until her concluding years, whenever Ava's name surfaced in a publication or film, Lucille would whisper the identical phrase quietly. Folks have no clue what she was beyond the exterior. Number 4. Bette Davis. The genius Lucille Ball said sliced others for amusement. Everyone revered Bette Davis's genius except Lucille Ball, who once inquired confidentially, "Why does she take pleasure in wounding people so much with Bette?" Lucille required no delay to discern what irked her. The antagonism was instant, acute, and indelible. Their harshest clash transpired at a professional banquet in the mid-1960s. Lucille sat mere tables apart when Bette started ripping into a novice server who had erroneously delivered the incorrect vintage. The space hushed as Davis growled, "Do you comprehend a tag at all, or is that too much for you?" The lad expressed regret multiple times, but Bette persisted, relishing the degradation like a show. Lucille observed, astonished. This was intentional viciousness. Later that evening, Bette noticed Lucille and lifted her goblet in feigned camaraderie. Lucille didn't respond. She had witnessed sufficient. She shared with a friend later, "Crawford was chilly, but Bette savored delivering the injury." To Lucille, that was unpardonable. She honored ability unyieldingly, but she loathed anyone who wielded authority to shatter individuals striving to thrive in the same field. She once remarked, "Excellence ought to shield folks, not shatter them." Bette and Lucille were never allies. They operated in the identical metropolis, the same period, the same networks, yet evaded one another like incompatible elements. Even years afterward, when Bette featured in homages or overviews, Lucille rejected shared discussions. Number 5. Zsa Zsa Gabor. The lady Lucille Ball claimed was phony to the core. Whenever Zsa Zsa Gabor's name emerged, Lucille Ball didn't exhale or avert her gaze. She chuckled. Lucille didn't dread Zsa Zsa. She didn't begrudge her achievements or her appearance. What she detested, profoundly detested, was the deceit. Zsa Zsa wasn't merely theatrical or indulged. To Lucille, She was an ambulatory act, a female who militarized appeal while regarding people as expendable accessories. Lucille's aversion started at a philanthropic gathering in the late 1960s. Flashes popped, and Zsa Zsa glided in, adorned in gems and pelts, beaming like nobility. Once the photographers departed, all shifted. A helper courteously directed her to a seat. Zsa Zsa barked, "I don't dine with commoners." Lucille saw it from afar. That single remark sufficed, but the gravest instant followed shortly. A youthful helper, scarcely 20, inadvertently grazed Zsa Zsa's garment. Rather than a basic adjustment, Zsa Zsa inclined close and murmured, "Darling, if you contact my garment once more, I'll ensure you never handle an occasion in this city again." Lucille felt nauseated because Zsa Zsa conveyed it with a pleasant grin, as if bestowing praise. Later that evening, Lucille aired her frustrations to a trusted co-worker. Nothing in her is genuine. Not the inflection, not the refinement, not even the benevolence. To Lucille, counterfeit benevolence was graver than blatant malice. A counterfeit individual could disarm others. A counterfeit individual could deceive society. And Zsa Zsa remained unchanged. Even years later, when she struck a Beverly Hills law enforcer in 1989, Lucille wasn't astonished. She merely stated, "That's her, the authentic version." Lucille never absolved Zsa Zsa, and in Lucille's perspective, the most perilous form of wickedness is the type that grins as it strikes. Now that you've learned the 7 names Lucille Ball disclosed, which one astonished you the greatest? Do you believe Hollywood continues to conceal individuals like these nowadays? Share your ideas in the comments section. Your viewpoint could astonish others as well. And if you're eager for additional undisclosed tales from vintage Hollywood, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.